Yeah, on the injury front, we got in late, so we still have a bunch of MRIs pending, so I don't really have a ton of updates for you guys. On the injury front, obviously very disappointed. You go on the road against a good team, you want to come away with victory, and we didn't. And I told the team there's 1,000 reasons why we didn't. We got to make sure we own them and get to the bottom of them, and because we have to be better. We'll be in similar games against similar opponents, and we got to come through. And I certainly have to do my part there as well. So disappointed, going to have to make some corrections, and then got an undefeated Arizona Cardinals team coming into our place this weekend. So we're going to have to, again, make corrections and then quickly move on.
Thanks, Coach. First question will be from Tom Withers.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, Kevin. In terms of Jeremiah, is he back home?
Not yet. He is. I think we'll land shortly, though.
Okay. And yesterday in the post game, you talked about the penultimate drive where you decided to call the draw play on 3rd and 9. In hindsight, do you wish you had done anything different? And if you throw on 2nd and 9, why are you running on 3rd and 9?
Yeah, good question, Tom. Yes, in hindsight, I definitely wish I did something different. This is where I have to put our guys in position to succeed, and I didn't do that there, and I'm sick about it. Definitely got too wrapped up in the previous play call, with the clock stopping and with, how that unfolded. And I got to put our guys in position, and I can't do that to our team.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Tom. Next is Fred Greetham.
Hey, coaches, do you feel sometimes like you're spinning the plates? It seems like you get the offense going, then the defense is going, and you just really haven't been able to get the whole thing on the same page at the same time?
Yeah, I think, Fred, you have to find a way to win every Sunday or Thursday, whenever you're playing. You got to find a way. And sometimes the defense is going to carry us like they did the last couple of weeks. And then sometimes it's got to be the offense. And the offense and myself, we got to come through in those moments. But it's whatever the game calls for. Would we love for all 3 phases to be playing at their absolute potential? Yes, we would. And we're working real hard to make sure that happens.
Thank you, Fred. We'll go to Scott Petrick.
Hey, Kevin, get back to that draw play. You also called one I think it was on the first drive on the 3rd and long. Do you think that sends any message that there's a lack of trust in the pass game when you choose to run on 2 important plays?
Yeah, I don't think it sends that message, Scott. At least, I talked to the offense about those calls, and that first one trying to really help the field goal. Those 3rd and longer, when you get down in the red zone and you limit the amount of space you have, becomes difficult. We had a good run that really helped the field goal there. But I would just tell you, I have to do a better job, bottom line.
And when you say you got caught up in the 2nd down before the final 3rd down draw, what do you mean by that? Like I know Baker thought there should have been a penalty. Is that what you mean?
I would just tell you, I'm never going to rely, and we as a team are not going to rely on the officials. And I need to, in the moment, whether something gets called or doesn't get called, I got to move on and make sure I give the guys a chance to succeed.
Thanks.
Thanks, Scott. We'll go to Matt Fontana.
Yeah, Kevin, actually speaking about the officials, there seemed to be a lot of calls, just that defensive pass interference. There's a picture of guy getting into JC's throat. Do you feel like you need to say anything to the team coming out of a game where there might have been some questionable calls and non-calls?
Yeah, Matt, we talked about it. I'll obviously, like we do every week, have a discussion with the league on some of these plays. And listen, they're not going to get every play right. And I'm certainly not going to call every play right. We're not going to execute every play right. It's going to be imperfect. But for our team, we are not going to leave it in the hands of the officials. We control a lot of that game, and we need to do better.
And Kevin, I think the stat was you're the first team to score 40 or more points with no turnovers and not win the game in NFL history. Something to be said about going against another good team and being close and having a chance to win?
No.
Thanks.
Thanks, Matt. Mary Kay Cabot, you're up.
Yeah, Kevin, just wondering, week by week, I hear you, taking a lot of responsibility for, you want to put the guys in a better position in certain things. And I know that, coaches like to do that, take a lot of that responsibility on themselves. But my question is, I've heard you say it enough now to wonder, even after a game like that, where you're sick about, you say you're sick about the 3rd and 9. I mean, do you ever think about, just letting Alex Van Pelt call the plays and you just kind of oversee the whole operation?
Yeah, Mary Kay, I think we have a really good collaboration on game day. It's a lot of us on there, but particularly AVP Bill Callahan do a great job in making sure that our operation is how we want it. Certainly, like you mentioned, there's going to be moments where I need to do better, but I'm getting a ton of help throughout the game.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Kay. Daryl Ryder has our next question.
Hey, Kevin, I wanted to ask you about the 2 blown coverages that led to a touchdown. Just when you went back and looked at it, I'm not asking you to call anyone out or assess any blame publicly, but just when you went back and look at that, and what did you see, and how do you prevent that from happening? Because obviously once in a game is too much, but to have it happen twice in the same game and it ended up costing you 14 points.
Yeah, Daryl, obviously when guys get that open, the answer is it's always a miscommunication. And that's what happened. We had poor communication out there a couple times. We got to get lined up, get the calls and execute the defense. And unfortunately, just, you never know when it's going to hurt you. And it was unfortunate that we had some miscommunication back there, and we got to work real hard to make sure it doesn't happen again.
And I want to ask you about that last possession, the 90 seconds. You guys had one last crack at it early in the drive right out of the gate. I think it was a 6-yard pass and then 2 really short passes, one for 3 or 2 yards or whatever. What did you see when you went back and watched that? Because I'm guessing you're not looking for 2 and 3 yards in that situation. You really need some chunk plays there.
Yeah, we had a 4 verticals called. That we checked it down to Kareem, and then it was a 3rd and 1 where we were aggressive to Kareem in the flat to try and get the first. So that's the truth of it. And the first goal of that drive was to make sure we're in location to throw a Hail Mary. Obviously, we'd love to get as close as possible to do that, but that's what happened there.
Thank you, Daryl. We'll go to PJ Ziegler.
Thanks, Rob. Kevin, what have you guys learned over the course of this year alone, just in closing out, quote unquote, elite quarterback?
Yeah, I think, PJ, you got to find a way to get a stop. We let him out of the pocket too many times. We got to do a better job and contain. And that's certainly going to be something for this week as well coming up, because it's hard to cover, for that long when you let the quarterback out of the pocket. And then they made a few plays. We made a few of them too, but we got to find a way on 4th down in particular to get off the field.
Thank you.
Thank you, PJ. Marla Reidner, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, yesterday you made a couple references to the protection issues affecting the play calls. I mean, last year you had a lot of linemen out with COVID and stuff, and it didn't seem to be as big a factor. Was Baker's shoulder playing any part in this yesterday? No,
it wasn't, Marla. I would tell you, again, you got to call the game that is called for. Certainly understand that had some guys playing in positions where I need to make sure I call the game in a appropriate fashion, but that doesn't excuse not being aggressive when it's called for.
And do you know anything about Jarvis, whether he'll be able to be activated?
I don't know yet. He's running today, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Marla. We'll go to Tony Grossi.
Hey, Kevin, I just wanted to ask about Odell. Everyone says you think of players, not plays in the clutch. He didn't even get a look on that last drive. What was going on there? Yeah, there was a couple opportunities, Tony, but the coverage took the quarterback elsewhere. That's really the simple answer to it. We got to just make sure we find ways to get him the ball, all of our guys the ball. We have a bunch of different guys that can do something with the ball in their hands. That I think about Dave yesterday, making some really big plays with the ball in his hands. So
we'll continue to do that.
Okay.
Thanks, Tony. Back to Scott Petrick.
And I got a couple more like clock management kind of things for you. At the end of the first half, you got asked about it after the game and said you wanted to go back and look. Would you have called a timeout given that?
Yeah, given how it went, yes. We were slow to get into that second play. We had some miscommunication, which I don't, we shouldn't, but we had a miscommunication on that second play there. Didn't run it exactly how it was designed. Then we had to scramble and throw the ball away. So that just took too long to get lined up. And then, then we have to throw the ball away. It's taking up way too much time. So in hindsight, had I known that was the case, would have called timeout there right after that first play.
Is the reason you don't automatically is because you want to leave the run option open there? You know what I'm saying? Like you could have called it and had 30 seconds left and thrown it 5 times if you wanted. So why initially wait?
Yeah, it felt like we could get quickly into a call we liked on that second down and still have an opportunity to call our timeout and still have time. It just, it really took too long. And again, that's on me.
And then in that after the draw in the second last possession, did you think at all about going for it on 4th down? Knowing how the Chargers are moving offensively, I saw some win probability said you're better off going for it than punting.
Yeah, I mean, I think hindsight always is going to cause me to look at those decisions and think about what I could do to come through for our team. And so I'll look at all those things.
Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Matt Fontana, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, Gillen averaged 44 yards yesterday, but he's dropped to 29th in the league for punting average. Are you getting out of Jamie Gillen what you need?
I mean, we'd obviously want to punt better. That's no surprise, and he needs to be better, and he knows that.
And then you went with Blake over Hudson at the left tackle. How did you feel like he did coming out of the game?
Yeah, I thought he did a fine job. He battled, had some good moments.
Thanks.
Thank you, Matt. Tom Withers, go ahead.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Coach. I'm glad you don't go back through all my stories to dissect how they look in hindsight. As far as the injuries, I know you're waiting on some of the meds. Any long-term concerns on any of those guys?
I don't know that it'd be appropriate for me to say yet, Tom. I got to see what the MRI say.
Okay, and Matt mentioned a guy named Blake. How did Hudson do when he came in?
Yeah, some good moments. He tries extremely hard. There's definitely some things that he will clean up from an assignment perspective, from a technique perspective. But he's done a nice job in his moments out there.
Thank you, Tom. We'll go back to Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, I'm going to try to squeeze in 2 here real quick. The first one is a follow-up on Odell, that 2nd and 9. But before the fateful 3rd and 9 that we've been talking about, that seemed like one, I think, where, if I recall correctly, it seemed like he was flashing open on a crossing route, I think. But anyways, is that one of the missed opportunities that you're talking about to Odell? And do you think that maybe Baker, after that drop, just kind of didn't really want to put the ball in his hands?
No, I don't think so. I think any receiver throughout the course of a season, you're going to have drops. It just happens. So we trust our guys. On that particular play, Mary Kay, he thought he had an opportunity to Richard down the field, but it was just an unfortunate play.
Okay. And then the other thing real quick is when you have guys come out after the game like Baker did, very strongly and complain about the officiating, and Miles also doing that after a loss like this, I'm just wondering what are your thoughts on that? Are you fine with that, or do you have a problem with that?
No, they understand that we're not going to rely on those guys. They can they can say what they want to say in those moments, and it's the emotion of the game certainly gets us, but we can't rely on the officials.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mary Kay. Marla Reinauer.
Yeah, Kevin, just one quick thing about Chris Hubbard. I mean, he said on his Insta, kind of confirmed that he was going to go ahead with surgery. Just what kind of a loss is that? And I would assume you're looking for help at tackle.
Yeah, he's going to get surgery, Marla. It's a big loss. He's a guy that played for us last season, played and gave us some good reps at tackle, at guard. You know how I feel about him as a person. So we're going to miss having him, in the lineup, both as a player and, just as he's rehabbing this, going to make sure he's as close to the team so we can make sure that his presence is around particularly some of the young guys on the offensive line.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marla. Let's try to get two more quick ones in. Scott Patrick, Dale Ryder. Scott?
Hey, Kevin, I wanted to follow up on Tom's injury thing. On some of the guys that have been out, like Greg Newsome and Jedrick, do you expect them back this week?
Yeah, I don't know yet, Scott. I think we'll, after today with their workouts, as we get to Wednesday, seeing them move around, I'll know better. It's hard for me to say today.
And your starting defensemen, Miles, is he okay after having to go out for a bit? And then Jadeveon, did you expect him to play and then just wasn't able to go after pregame?
Yeah, Miles, I think, we'll see. Obviously, he's sore, but we'll see as the week goes on. With Jadeveon, he had the elbow injury throughout the week, and then through pregame, his knee got sore. And that's really what held him out of the game.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Scott. We'll close with Dale Ryder.
Yeah, Coach, I just wanted to ask about that fourth quarter defensively. I know you lost a lot of bodies. Guys were just coming in and out of there, but the Chargers got 26 points off you, and they had all the momentum offensively. Just from your perspective, how do you slow that train when it's rolling down the tracks the way it was yesterday from a momentum standpoint?
Yeah, I think you just got to find a way to make a play. I mean, we played, there was individual efforts that they made great plays on. But bottom line, it comes down to getting a stop, something that I think we've done well the previous 2 weeks. We didn't do it yesterday, and that's where we got to look at it from all angles and again, just find a way. It's on these Sundays, we got to find a way to win, whatever it takes.